What's up? What's up? How you doing from wherever you are catching me from? Luze Andrew Anderson is my name. Super excited, of course, to be here. It's been a while. What's up? How you doing? I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It doesn't matter where you are watching in from as long as you're watching. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So, as long as you're watching through, I want to say hello. How are you doing? Super, super excited, of course, to be here, just like how we always do it. So, again, we have come through, and I think what time is it? It is 5:13. Yesterday, of course, I didn't have sleep. Yeah, I spent 24 hours minus sleeping the whole of yesterday night. I didn't sleep. Of course, we're doing some live on TikTok, yeah, supporting my friend that is Governor AC. We were there the entire night, so I didn't sleep. So today I slept in the morning. I slept at around, I think, 8 in the morning. That's when I slept, 8 in the morning today. Basically, I spent 24 hours minus sleeping. So 8 in the morning today I slept. Then by 2 I woke up. Of course, when Tyler is back from school, I noticed that in case I sleep at around 5, I noticed Tyler wouldn't go to school, so I didn't sleep till 6. Yeah, they picked him, went to school. I slept, then woke up at exactly 2 when he was back. So yeah, but that's why yesterday we did not do any live or any upload. But anyway, as long as you're watching in, today's topic, this is what I'm going to be talking about. Yeah, I want you to look at it there. Why I decided to quit my job. Yeah, in this era, yeah, and in this was first they call it the 21st century, yeah. Everyone wants to get a job, but for some reasons, me, I just woke up one day and I felt like I don't want to work, and I gave up. I'm going to be telling you a story how it all started, just like any other person, you know. When I was still at school, I was at given school, a medical school, that is Mid-Care Health Professionals College, and I was doing a laboratory. But of course, just like any other young man, you know, we all know growing up, like getting a job is one of those hardest things. Yeah, getting a job, more so, you know, the kind of what we would call your dream job. You know, everyone wants to get a job, but now there were some competitions, of course. Yeah, there was some competition, and they wanted to get one of the best TV presenters, you know, or hosts. So I went in the competition. It was called the Icon them days. Yeah, WBS TV. So I went through the competition. I had my friends, of course, who supported. Then before we know it, we went and did it. And surprisingly, I got the job, yes, to host a TV show doing entertainment. It was really lovely. It was lovely because I never felt like I was working. Why? Because, you know, you just wake up early in the morning, go to TV, and I used to work 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. You just come, sit, and just talk. What is happening in the entertainment world? So that's what I could basically do. And I did that for 15 years. 15 years, that is quite long. But I was so used to it. You know, you just wake up. You know, I never took it like a job. I didn't take it like a job because I was doing basically something that I want, and it didn't need that too much, you know, being energetic and being so strong. So I got the job, of course, worked 15 years in a row. Now, I want to tell you the main reasons why I decided. I just woke up one day and I did not show up to work. I gave up and I was like, you know what? Now I'm quitting. I'm not doing this anymore. Given the fact that everyone, you know, most of the people and the young boys and girls, you know, they want to be famous, or they don't want to be, they want to be famous, they want to be known, basically. Yeah, so everyone wants to get a job. Even up to now, I've gotten some phone calls and people are telling me they want to go work on TV or they work on radios. But as per me, I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm quitting. Why I decided to quit? Of course, my job. I just decided, and I'm like, no, these things are not adding up. Those are some of the reasons, of course, I'm going to be giving you. Growing up, most of the people used to say that, you know, you cannot get rich, you know, doing a 9 to 5 job. Like you wake up early in the morning, and then, you know, you have to show up to work, then come back home. I saw my sisters, yeah. Fine, all of them were educated. But one thing I noticed, like much of the time, they're always home. At one point, I used to think even one of my sister's husband like doesn't work. Until when I grew up and I asked them, and they were like, "Man, we work just like we don't show up every day." So me, I just woke up one day and I'm like, I'm not going back, because you imagine working on TV or doing that job for 15 years. Now, some of the reasons why I decided to quit. Number one, of course, I saw the kids. Yeah, I saw the kids who are really young. I saw them being born. Yeah, and I was doing the same thing. I was working on TV, and these kids were born. Now they grew up. I noticed they were in secondary, and I was still doing the same job. But for some reasons, like you've been in a place. Let me say your village, your hometown, yeah, and you are in your hometown, left, and then came back, and basically everything is the way it used to be. Like your friends come, like let me say you're in your hometown, and then people leave. They go somewhere, they go work, give birth, they come back when they have kids, and maybe their lives are a little bit better. But the way they left you is basically the same way you are. So my sisters gave birth to kids that I saw, being gave birth to. Then, of course, I went to the hospital. I've seen these kids grow. So now 15 years on TV, and now these kids are in secondary, and I'm basically still doing the same thing. Seeing that really scared me. You've seen them grow. I was like, something is wrong. The kids that I used to play with, I've seen them, go abroad, then get married, then do a lot of things, like different things. And basically, I was still doing the same thing. I was like, something is not right. That is the first thing that really scared me so much. If you're doing such kind of jobs like the 9 to 5, yeah, the problem is you do the same thing and you get used. And when you get used, there is that thing of like it gives you this kind of lifestyle that makes you survive. That is the word I'm supposed to. You survive. You survive. Like you survive. You can rent. You can buy food. You can, of course, buy some clothes. You can go out once in a while. But it doesn't give you that money to save to do basically big things. You get the point. But because we were comfortable, you're associating with the so-called celebrities, you hang out with the big names in the country, and you have access to different clubs. When you go to clubs, most of the things are free, most of the people know you, so it puts you in that comfort zone. I was comfortable for 15 years, and I'm comfortable. I can eat, I can sleep, I can drink, I can buy some new clothes. You can basically do the usual things. So after 15 years, I was like, something is not right. Given the fact that I have all these privileges, what? No, yeah, you go shower. So at the end of the day, you're having all these privileges, but you're not having progress with your life. Like you don't have anything, to show of it. Because I was like, I've worked 15 years on TV. I don't have a hen. I don't have nothing to my name. Nothing, zero. I was like, something is wrong here. Yeah. Given the fact you're comfortable, you can sleep. You're comfortable. Like you survive, But each time they pay you salary, the first week that they've paid it, you're supposed to pay rent, pay electricity bills, water bills, do a little bit of things here and there. Before you know it, money is out. But you can survive. So I was like, no, something is not right. Let me put up again for the people who are just joining. This is the poster. I'm telling you reasons why I decided to quit my job. That's what we are talking about. So I noticed something was wrong. Do you know, like, let me give an example. You get married and you just keep giving birth. You're just giving birth, you have kids. But when you got married, the same way they found you is basically how you are. Like nothing has changed in your life. I was like, I'm stagnant. Remember, you're being paid salary because you could pay salary, then pay NSSF, then you're supposed to pay all these taxes. We were doing all that. But I was just comfortable. So now I notice if I've seen these kids, someone being a baby and they're just breastfeeding them and you're doing the same job. Now these kids have grown, they've gone through kindergarten, they've gone through primary, they've gone through secondary, but you're still doing the same thing. I was like, no, something is not right here. I was like, something is not right. Then the kids we used to be with, I get to hear, they got married and they are having kids, they're into this business. I was like, something is not right. I cannot have been doing the same thing for all this. Remember, I'm comfortable. So that's where the problem is. I was comfortable. Most of the people are always comfortable when it comes to their 9 to 5 jobs. So I was like, something is not adding up. I started getting worried. Remember, as these kids were growing, I'm also growing. And I'm now in 30s. In 30s, you can imagine, in 30s. And I'm doing the same. I got scared. When I got scared, then that's when I started. I felt like maybe I should get a kid. Yeah, I wanted to get married. I wanted to get married because I had never been in a setting of in a setting of a family. I've never been in such kind of a setting where there is a mom, dad, and then kids. So I grew up, and that is the only thing that I really, really love. I wanted to be in a setting where there is a mom, a dad, and the kids, because I have never been in such a setting. So I really wanted that because I felt like time is really going so fast. But as time was really going so fast, I had nothing to my name. No house. Of course, at one point I bought a car, but again, no house, nothing, no land, no business, because the job was making me comfortable. Yeah, the job was making me super, super comfortable. Like you can pay rent, you're not in debts, everything is moving on well. You go to clubs, then once in a while girls can come through, and everything was so easy because of the popularity you're having, working on TV. So now I'm like, okay, all these years, but now I want to settle down. Yeah, I want to settle down, I want to have a family, but I don't know how we will survive, because now in such kind of a setting you have to keep working for them to survive. I was like, something is not adding up. Something is not adding up. I started, reflecting, and I'm like, no, something is not adding up. I think I chose a wrong job. Yeah. I started thinking about it carefully. Remember, the first thing is if you are comfortable. I was comfortable for 15 years and I have totally nothing. I only have my clothes and my shoes, my small TV, my bed, and maybe some chairs. I was like, no. Given the fact that I am comfortable, I have to leave this comfort zone. Remember, if you're doing a 9 to 5 and you're that comfortable, you will work 40 years. And at that point, when you lose the job, then you're now back to zero, because you've been living to what we call hand to mouth. Yeah, whatever you get, you eat. 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 So that means whatever you get, work. Get paid, eat. Work. Get paid, eat. Work. Get paid, eat. So now, in case you lose that job, then you don't have where to get the money, or you don't have where to work. You need the money so that you can eat. That is very terrible. Remember, when they closed when they closed the first station where I was working at, WBS, when they closed it, it really did me bad. I've never, ever in my life I've never suffered in my life like the way I suffered when they closed WBS TV. Remember, as we started off, for the people who started with me, immediately from school, not even from, I left school and immediately I was having a job. Can you imagine? I never looked for a job. From school, you're having a job. So now I was so comfortable, and I thought that's how maybe life is supposed to run. Immediately from school, you're supposed to get a job. I didn't look for it, So now you're having this job. Yes, it is paying as a young man. Yes, and now you've worked for those many years at that station, and now it is closed. Boss, because now I could not go to work to get money, then feed. Now I could not afford even a house of 100,000. I could not afford, because that's the only thing I knew how to do. Do you know what happened next? What happened next? I had to go to one of my sister's houses, and I stayed there for some good months. And remember, I was alone. I called one of my friends to come and we stay with them. These were rental houses for my sister that I was staying there, but I wasn't paying rent, which wasn't a cool thing, because those were residential houses. Those are rentals, So now she's not making money out of it. I really, really suffered. Because I was used of that one job that I was doing, and I had totally nothing. So it really scared me that I had to go, because I noticed maybe Ugandans could not pay off. Yeah, like Ugandan TV stations could not really pay presenters that much. Yeah, the TV hosts, they could not pay them that much. So what I decided to do was to go to Rwanda. I went to Rwanda and I went to Rwanda TV. I wanted to work there. Of course, gave them my CV, showed them some of my content and work I'm doing back here in Uganda. Surprisingly, God helps me. In Uganda, then there was a guy called Douglas Ranga. Was working at Record TV. And now he's quitting. Now he's going on NTV, so they needed a replacement. So I get a call when I'm in Rwanda. And these guys are telling me to come back to Uganda to still to host a TV show. Still doing entertainment. That's how I left Rwanda now I have a job. I started working, but now because I was super scared of losing a job, immediately, remember, some of these things they used to tell us and we could not understand. Immediately when I got a job, I started planning my exit. Like, just in case anything happens, I just sweep. So I made sure, yeah, I'm telling you, for the people who are joining, this is what we are talking about today. This is what we are talking about today. Why I decided to quit my job. That's what we are talking about today. So now, immediately when I got to Record TV, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some simple mathematics here. So I was like, remember, when I lost the first job, now I could not afford a house. I could not afford food. I could not even afford to get 50,000 Ugandan shillings. I could not afford even getting 20 that I am really assured of. Now, immediately when I got that job, I started planning my exit. I was like, okay, I've gotten this job. How much? I sat down. Now, this is the second job I've gotten. I sat down and I'm like, how much is my rent? I had to be really intentional. So I was like, how much is my rent? I got to know it was, I think, let's take it at 350. I knew it is 350,000. Yeah, 350,000. So I noticed if it's 350,000, how much do I use for transport? Then I calculated, and I'm calculating everything per month. So I noticed maybe my transportation is 150, yeah, thousand. So I was like, okay, so how much is my food? How much is it? Because me, when I'm since I was growing up, at our home we buy food that lasts a month. That's how we've always done it. Food lasts a month. That's how we always did it. So now I calculated how much am I supposed to use, yeah, to cover a month. I noticed maybe let's take it at 200,000, yeah, 200,000. So 200,000, I was like, okay, that's what I can use for a month. So I know I use internet. I was like, how much do I use for internet? Then I got to know maybe it is a month, it is 110,000. So I calculated everything and I noticed this is 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, I could use like 800,000. Yeah, 800,000 per month. So I knew, I was like, remember, I lost the first job. I could not afford to pay even for my rent. Yeah. So now I'm in this position. So I got to know it is 800,000. Do you know what I did? I got 800,000 times 12. 800,000 times 12. How much is that? Do the calculation there. So I got to know how much I need to use a year. Now, if we can calculate, yeah, let's see, 800, okay. Let me use my phone, yeah. Let me use my phone. I was so intentional because losing the job the first time really did me so bad. So now I was so intentional doing this. So it is 800,000 times 12, yeah. That is 9.6 millions, yeah. 9.6 M. So now I got this 9.6 M. I was like, I'm going to save this money. I'm going to get this money and I am going to save it. I save it, I put it somewhere just in case I lose my job. I will know I have the 6.9 so that I can still live the kind of lifestyle I was living while I was working. You get the point? So now I'm telling you, remember, I'm telling you the reasons why I decided to quit my job and me as I was a TV presenter. So why I decided to quit my job as a TV presenter. So now, knowing that I need 9.6 million, I started saving for that money. Each time they could pay me, I could save some. Each time they could pay me, I could save some. Each time they could pay me, I could save some. So until, give me some water, please. Some water, please. Drinking water. Thank you. So at the end of the day, each month they pay me, I could save that money. So it reached a time that I had that money there, even more than. So now imagine you need 9.6 M to survive for a year. So now what I did was to save like up to 10 M. And that 10 M, I could not use it. It was, by then I used to save in circle, yeah. So I used to save in a circle, but what I could do, thank you. I finished it. So what I could do, because I used to stay in these places. I used to stay Tisasi, Chanja, Ntinda, Kamocha. So now I was saving in a circle which was in Entebbe, yeah. So the distance between Ntinda, Kisasi, and Entebbe was quite, was quite a distance. So now, remember, when you're saving in this circle, you're supposed to use mobile money. But when you are withdrawing, they need your signature. So you have to go there and sign for that money that you want to withdraw. Now, there was no way, even if I don't have food, maybe I want to go out, and then I want, let me say, 100,000. There was no way I was going to leave Ntinda, Obukoto, Okisaso, Kamocha to go up to Entebbe, Kitoro to get 100,000. So you're like, you know what, let me leave it. So I started saving there. And guess what? Just like how I had planned it, after a couple of years, they also closed. But I was already safe. I had already made a plan. I had that money there. So I could survive for a year minus working. You see, I could survive for a year because I knew it would happen again. Remember, I'm not investing in business because I don't understand them. This is the only thing I know how to do. That is TV presenting. So now when it is out, I could live safe, by the way, for a year. Thankfully, now they sell off Record TV, and guess what comes in? It is called Taj TV. So Taj comes in a picture. But remember, now I have a mentality because I suffered so much when I lost my first job. So now I'm prepared. I didn't use much of that money. Now I have another job. I still did the same thing. So now I noticed that given the fact, okay, this money just helps you to survive. And remember, as we were growing up, even right now, they still say that you can never become rich or do really big investments when you are at a job. A 9-to-5 job can never make you rich. You cannot really make big investments. That is the truth. What? Sorry, I'm working. First wait, I'm still talking to my friends, right? So it was really, really, they keep telling us, you can never be rich on a 9-to-5 job when you're getting a salary. Because how these guys do it, if you're getting a salary, they make sure they give you money that makes you comfortable. That money that can help you pay your rent, get food, get transportation, and maybe buy some nice clothes. So it is intentional, because if they give you more than you need, then you will stop working because you're getting more than you need. So what they do, they make sure. That's why some of the people, they ask them, do you have a car? Do you have a family? How many? Are you married? So when they get to know you're married, okay, you have a car, okay, so they can calculate and see how much you really need to use a month. So they give you exactly what you need, or a little bit less for what you need, so that they keep you at work. Like every day you have to show up because you have to pay that train, the kids have to go to school. They give you what is just basically enough. That they don't give you time to even go do your own stuff, maybe learn new skills, maybe open up business where you can spend time. They take all your time, and it is intentional, by the way. It is intentional. It is very, very intentional. Now, because my first job, I wasn't married, I was just from school. So the first salary was like it was like $100, yeah, $100. You can imagine my first salary, $100. So now that is like 350 something. So now they do it intentionally, and they keep you there. Remember, you don't want to lose your job because it is the one that caters for all your needs. Yeah. So now, because it is the exact, you see, like they don't give you extra time for yourself, and still again they don't give you extra money for you to make investments or to save more so that you can live. So it is intentional in the system of 9 to 5 jobs, or the jobs where you get salary. They don't give you extra. So that I noticed. The first job, they were giving us less because we are not married, neither are we having kids, or are we, paying school fees for someone. So they gave us what we really needed. So now, getting to this other third job now, Taj TV, I started planning again my exit as I was just given a job. So when I started working, now remember, I've told you, I've seen kids, when they were still in their mother's wombs. Now they have grown up. I hear they are in senior four now, and I'm like, something is not adding up. Why is it that for all these years there is nothing really to show of it? Nothing to my name. I've been rubbing shoulders with the so-called celebrities, but there is nothing to show of it. I was like, something is wrong. So now one day we do an interview. I do an interview with a guy called Fresh Kid. I think you know Fresh Kid. So when we do that interview paid me like 980,000. 980,000, yeah? 1 month. So 980,000, which was less than 10 minutes. I was like, remember now these guys are giving me like 550 minus, that is like $400. Let's take an approximate. So now that is like $200. So now you imagine, I've made this interview, but again it had made more money. Yeah, I was like, 980, and now these guys are giving me 550. That is like $200. But still, again, the other one made a little bit more. I was like, something is not adding up. Yeah, I was like, something is not adding up. So I started contemplating. Yes, of course, I have the daily scroll. Yeah, what's up? I'm trying to make my life without being a slave to the boss. Yes, boss. That is the daily scroll. Daily scroll. So now, Daily Scroll has given me his point. Let me check out, by the way, your channel. Okay, I want to check out the Daily Scroll channel. Go to channel. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. I want to go to your channel, and I see. Go to channel. I don't know why it's not going there, but anyway, I'll check out it. Yeah, later. So now, that video does that amount. Remember, it is just 10 minutes, and it has paid off even more than what I get as a salary after a month. So now I was like, you know what, things were not adding up. They were really not adding up. I was like, no. So now I had a camera, so I started going to the field and recording. Fine, I was doing the station's work, but again, now I had taken it personal. Now I was working as me. Go do the interviews, come back, edit, put on TV some, then of course upload. Because I've basically used my own camera. I have my camera person, then I'm the presenter. I have my microphone. I think I still have my microphone. The first one I got, even the camera, I lost the camera, but the second one I still have it. So now I was like, you know what, how can I do it? I get out of this system. I started preparing again how to survive for the next 1 year minus getting any penny or any salary. And still again the same thing happened. Taj TV closed. But now, me and my friend, I had another friend of mine called Den Swaswa. So we were preparing ourselves for the exit. By the time they told us, before even they closed, I just quit. So someday I'm just like here, yeah, just like how I am here like this. So now there was Allen Skins concert. Remember Allen Skins concert? So now I was like, this guy has a concert, and of course, everyone is supporting him. Why is it that I don't support him? So I did a live like this one here, still on this platform. That video is still there. It is on BCM, this channel we are right now. So I went there, did like an hour. So I was telling guys to support Alien Skin. I told guys to buy tickets. Oh my goodness, guys bought tickets, yeah. I think in 30 minutes, yeah, they had bought tickets of over 950. I was like, what? No, I think this thing is way better than working on TV. The next day, I just didn't show up on TV. I just didn't go back. You wait, I finish, I come, yeah? I just didn't go back. I was like, no, I'm not going back. I didn't, like you're supposed to show up at work. Tyler, you go watch your cartoon, please. Yeah, you watch. Let me finish. Yeah. No. First wait. The kids have not come back from school. You first wait. So now, I just decided not to go back. Like how you're supposed to show up like very early in the morning, get prepared, then go to work. I just didn't go back to work. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start afresh. Remember, I was already ready to step minus a job. Now, why most of the people fear losing their job, yeah? Why do people fear? Because they are used, yeah? They are used. For the people who are joining us, this is what we are talking about, what you're seeing on screen there, why I decided to quit my job. So now, most of the people do what we call a 9 to 5, because it is the one that's where you get, that's where you get, every penny, to help you, to support you. Like that's where you get your rent, that's where you get, your medication, that's where you get, your food, that's where. So now, because they keep you in a fix, you cannot think out of the box. So now most of the people fear losing their jobs because they know when I lose my job, I don't have next. They don't know what next. And they forget that when you lose it, trust me, you will come up with something. Something will definitely work out. So now when I quit, I don't have plans, yeah? But the good thing, I had prepared myself. So basically, I had a camera, I had a couple of computers, I have a mixer, I had a microphone like this one here. I had quite a couple of things, yeah? I had my whole set. The first laptop I bought is the same laptop I'm using right now, yeah? The first laptop I bought, it is basically the same laptop where you're watching me from. It is the same one. So now, when you quit, trust me, you will always come up with it, because we have that instinct of survival. Yeah, that instinct of survival is always in us. We have it. You can survive. So now when you're doing something and you're self-employed, the energy you put in is basically more. And because you're self-employed, no matter what you're doing, you put in more energy. Because the more you work, the more you get rewarded. The more you work, the more you get paid. So now I was like, you know what? Let me stick on this YouTube channel. This, by the way, the same YouTube channel, BCM Uganda. So now I started doing lots of interviews. I registered the company. I called people during COVID, the first COVID we got. I called people because I could move. I could move because I had the media card. So I called my friends. Some of them came from Entebbe, others came from Kajansi. I collected all of them. We came together, rented out some other cameras. We started working, and now we are working seriously hard, because I knew I don't have a job, I don't have any income. So if I fail, I fail myself. So I was like, we have to work. We worked, and things were moving well. Of course, there are always hurdles, there are ups and downs. Again, I get to lose my friends, but this is how I lost my job, or I quit my job, because first of all, the kids I was seeing as they were young, now they had grown, and I was still doing the same thing. Or I've been doing 15 years. I didn't have any developmental thing. I didn't have anything under my name. Nothing. So now I quit. I start working. My first time in my life to get 1 million Ugandan shillings at a go was on YouTube. I was like, the first time to get 1 million. I was like, who can pay me 1 million? Really? Here in Uganda, what kind of a job can I do and someone pays me 1 million? Seriously. I noticed no one. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I started giving it time. And because now, remember, I have a son. So now, I have a son and I don't have to fail him. So now remember, I'm jobless. Even up to now, I'm jobless. And I still have the mentality that I can never, ever show up to any job. I can never show up to any job. That's basically maybe what I want. Things can always change. But those jobs, and you're doing a 9 to 5, you will never do anything. That's how I work so hard. Of course, stuff happens. I start working alone. Oh my goodness. I worked my pum pum fire out. And I was like, now because I'm used of sorry about that, because now I'm used of surviving for a year. Yeah, everything I do, I make sure I can survive for a year. So now I started planning, and thanks to God, of course, my sister comes to my support, and then we try to buy somewhere. And then because I knew we are not getting any salary, we are not getting any, we expect totally nothing at the end of the month. So what happened? This guy left on his laptop. So we're still continuing. So what happened? Sorry about that. So what happened was I started. We planned out. Yeah, we planned out something. Like I knew I don't have any income, zero income, even up to now. By the way, zero income. So we were like, let's strategize. Then what she did was to help me. Then we buy land with some money I was saving. But again, we were buying in. Okay, sorry. Tyler, I'm working. Sorry. So now we buy some land, we build on a studio, this studio faster. We try to get water, then get, of course, solar, because I knew I would not have any income. Man, it scares, but one thing I've learned is, yeah, because I've worked for 15 years. I've not worked in different sectors. Me, I was in media, so I don't know how the others really work, the other sectors, how they really work. But man, I think being employed is way better, because when you're employed, the more you work, the more you get rewarded. The more you work, the more you get rewarded. The more you work. So why would you work for someone who will give you a salary increase after 2 years or 3 years or 1 year? So basically they keep you, and that system is really bad. That system, they do like hand to mouth. Yeah, they give you basically the amount of money that you need for your survival, so you forget that you can come up with some ideas. It is intentional, and those people do it knowingly. They first ask you, are you married? They want to know, they want to weigh how much do you deserve. Are you married? No. Do you have kids? No. Where do you stay? I stay with my parents. Just be sure they will give you like $100. Yeah, that is like 350. Yeah, that's what they will give you. Now, in case someone comes through, are you married? Yes. How many kids? 2. Do you have a wife? Yes. Do you have a car? Yes. Are you renting? Yes. So now they can know this person, we can give him at least 1.5. So you see, they give you that. So now you don't want to leave that job because it helps for your survival. And again, they don't give you space for you to go explore, like learn a new skill or start up a business, and you can give it all your time. You can't, because you have this job that is providing to you. So it is so intentional. But when you're out there and you're jobless, like the way I am, you plan more because you live under pressure. And that's why most of the people say, can you work under pressure? So now you can live under pressure. So now, because we are built survival for the fittest, you will always figure it out. Yeah, you always figure it out. You will always try to figure out how you can survive. And that's where things change. That's why it is very hard to find a person who has been successful. Okay, they are there, yes. But if you're doing a 9 to 5 every day, it is kind of hard, because the needs are so many, the wants are so many, and they are giving you under your expenditure. So they don't give you a surplus. You get the point? So me, that's how I decided to quit my job. Number one, seeing other people grow and achieve lots of things, seeing my sister's kids grow, and now basically they are going to reach at a stage where I am, and they can basically do what I can do, and I'm still at the same place. The comfort zone was also one of the reasons I decided to leave, because I was so comfortable, like everything, but you have nothing under your name. So it was really very, very worrying. So that's why, that is some of the reason why I decided to quit my job. I wasn't fired. I just woke up one day and I decided not to go back. It is very scary, but I was preparing my mind, yeah. I was preparing myself to stay minus a job, but it is one of the most scariest thing. And now when the son came into the picture, oh, whoa. My goodness, it was very worrying. So when the son came into the picture, that's why sometimes I tell you guys, it is very important. If you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it's very important for a guy. Now, for a guy, even for a girl, I think, get a kid. Get a kid. Give birth. Get a kid. When you get a kid, let me tell you, there is a way your mind opens up. Your mind opens up. Because you have more so, I'm talking about the responsible people who are supposed to provide for their kids. There is that tension it brings to you, like you're supposed to provide for this other being you've brought in life. So that forces you to work a little bit harder, number one. Number two, they will help you think even better. Because now if you could get 100,000 and you just spend it, now it is going to change. You're like, okay, if I get 100,000, what is this I'm supposed to do first? I'm supposed to do this. When you are alone and you get 100,000, you could eat, you could just spend it. Before you know it, time reaches for rent and you don't have. But because you're one person, it is easy. You can go to friends, you can go to relatives, you can go to anyone. So there, it is like very easy. Tyler, don't knock, please. So at the end of the day, you can leave. But now when you have another person involved in your life and it is you who is responsible for them, I'm telling you, you cannot do stupid things. I used to club a lot. I used to drink a lot. I used to, sleep around a lot. Now that I have a son with me, things changed. I think I don't club. I totally do. I cannot go to a club. I don't go for concerts. I don't drink. I don't hang out with boys like the way I did. I don't spend money anyhow. That's why I even decided that I'm not going to date. I told myself I'm not going to date. Why? Because now maybe this other person, with the way how this 21st century is, with how much these girls love money. I don't have that money to spend for now. Yes, I admit I'm broke. I don't have that money to spend. So now, you see, I think a little bit clearer, I am a little bit more focused. I'm a little bit intentional. There are things I would do. I have my bike. Sometimes I can decide to drive so fast, but I cannot do that because I know there is something who is depending on me. So now it is very cool. I'm telling you guys, if you think your life is messed up, you know what you should do? Just get one kid. Don't get two. No, don't get two. Get one kid. Let me tell you, that kid will straighten you up. If it's not that, maybe get someone you love. Get someone you love and understands you. And when that person, because me, one thing I noticed, each time I got someone maybe I liked, I've liked only like 2 people in my life. Like love. I think I've loved like only 2 people in my life. Yeah. At my age, only 2. And now, because I had the first girlfriend that I really, really loved so much, for some reasons, I could work a little bit harder to impress her, to provide for her. So I could work a little bit harder. So if I could spend the whole day sleeping and chilling, because there is this girl and I want to impress, so I could work a little bit harder. I would do a little bit of more gigs. So either fall in love with someone who understands you or get a kid. But if you get a kid, I'm telling you, these kids, they will always shape you. You see, like how we have to nurture them when they are growing, direct them. Let me tell you, when you get a kid, they will straighten you up. You see, like when you have these slave queens, girls, and then they are partying every day, they are moving out with boys, one party after the other. Get a kid. But that can only work to someone who decides to be responsible. If you don't want to be responsible, then even if you get 1,000 kids, it won't help, yeah? But if you get a kid and again you're responsible and you want to be in their lives, I'm telling you, it does magic. So now, no job, but now you have to survive. You have to survive. So now you think a little bit more. But one thing I noticed, doing a 9 to 5, some people it can work for you and maybe you can have some stuff under your name. but it is very hard because they give you what you really need. They give you exactly what you need or less, little bit of what you need. But when you're self-employed, you get to know, like, I get, let me say, you're sure every month I can get maybe 350, but it's you who works for your money. It's you who hustles and gets that money, and you're very sure you can get 450 per month. Then you're going to make your plans under that budget. And because you're making it under that budget, you know what to do to increase maybe your sales. So now you'll be like, you know what, let me do this more, let me do this. Because the 6 years, the 15 years that I worked on TV, I didn't have even a hen. I didn't have even a bicycle. Even the car I bought, it was not from the salary. The first car I bought, it was Ivan Semwanga who gave me money. Then I started saving to buy. But 0 shillings came from my work, which is my salary. So I noticed that these things can never make you better your life. So that's why I decided to quit. I don't have anything in my life, I'm telling you, anything in my life that I can say that when I got in the 15 years, that when I got my salary, I bought this shoe and I'm having it right now. Nothing, totally nothing. And in the 3 years when I was now so serious and working hard, everything, even a small pen, like even a small pencil like this, all of it came from YouTube. Even these things here, there is nothing. Even this cape, everything I have, as small as a button, it came from YouTube. And that wasn't because of my work. So I noticed that no, I thought about it and I'm like, because anyone who thinks that being on TV pays off well, you're connected, you know people, but you live as a beggar. And I'm not the kind of a type, yeah. You live like a beggar. It is that you use your connection to go around begging. That is not on sure. If you're having your kids and maybe they are paying 1.5 millions as school fees, for how long are you going to beg from people? It is impossible. You will not beg forever. You will have to reach a time where you have to do those things for yourself. So me, I noticed, I know most of the people talk about it, but in the current situation, in this .com world, in this AI generation, in this 21st century, what I can advise any youth, come up with anything, learn a skill, come up with anything, start anything, use the internet. But when you are at a job, oh my goodness, they only give you 2 days, which is Saturday and Sunday, for you to have, nice time. And of course, when it is Saturday, now you're relaxing, you're so happy, that's when you have to go again, have a drink with your guys, blah, 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 blah. Then Sunday, they are preparing your mind again to do the same thing. And imagine you do the same thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All those years you're doing the same thing. And just imagine, put it in your mind, imagine you wake up early in the morning and that job is gone, and then you've been working for the last 5, 10 years. It is very, very hard to survive. At the end of the day, yeah, what I'm saying, it is always very hard. So it is way better. Wait, by the way, that was my son. I was trying to talk to him. He wants to disturb me when I'm talking. So now it's always very important. Start up anything. I'm telling you, because with this AI generation, this .com world, because now I am here. I don't know where you're watching in from. I don't know. You can put up a comment and you tell me where you're watching in from. Yeah. I told you this year we want to build a community. So at the end of the day, I am here and I'm talking to you in real time. Yeah, as I say something, you're getting it. So now imagine if I had something I'm selling. Yeah, I will be here and I'm like, I'm selling this, you can do this. Now, like me, I help people with their YouTube channels. Yeah, I help people with their YouTube channels and content creators on how to really make it online. That's what I do. I specifically deal with YouTube mainly. Other social medias, I'm not that conversant. That time will come, but for now, that's what really I deal in. YouTube, I can help you here and there, but of course it comes with a cost of consultation. But now, what I'm trying to tell you is, it is always important to move out. Now that we have phones and we have internet, sell anything you're having. Someone out there, me, I went and I bought a mixer, even this microphone. But where I bought them, of course, I was seeing these guys on TikTok. I could scroll and I see them. So I just woke up, got their number, called them. Yeah, wait. No, I will give you later. I will give you later. So at the end of the day, being employed, I'm telling you, it's way better. You know, when you go at the job, basically you're learning how these guys do their things. Yeah, you're getting experience out of these guys. Get the experience, then do your shit. Now you imagine, maybe someone is selling what? Maybe people sell sodas, you know, and now because they sell sodas, then you go, of course, try to learn how they do it. So you learn. If you learn the techniques and how they do it, then you will come and do it yourself because you've gotten the experience from work. You get the point? You've been there, you've gotten the experience. So in this 21st century, me, what I would advise anyone, I'm telling you, a 9 to 5 job, you will do it and you will get nothing. Because now you imagine me, I was thinking about something and I was like, I'm trying to strategize right now. That's why we change the kind of language we use here. Yeah, now we use English because now I want us to enter a given market. There is a market that I want us really to go to. Yeah, so that market, that's why we have some friends of ours in Nigeria and then Zimbabwe. So it is intentional. It is intentional to do that. Now I strategize and now we are starting again for the second. I think I'm starting afresh for the third time. This is the third time and I'm starting afresh. It is quite hard, but I learned because, as I told you, 3 times I'm losing a job, 4 times. So now I'm kind of used. So now I'm at the rock bottom, but I'm okay with it because I know if I give it 1 year, because I've always learned to survive 1 year up front. So now if I can live 1 year and whatever I'm doing works out, then guess what? They will not get to me. They will not get to me. It will be very, very, very impossible to get to me because now I would have built what I call a system. So now if this system works as I am self-employed, if this system works out and it works out nice, then I'm good. But remember, I've given it 1 year. But all these things you have to prepare when you're still at your job. Just don't quit. No, just don't quit. You go, make it a process. Make it a process slowly by slowly. Now by the time I lost all those jobs, now I had prepared myself. I had the laptops I had the cameras I wanted, I had the sound cards I had most of the things, and I had also the knowledge. So it was very easy for me to cope up. Very easy. But now when you leave, no, yeah, you just drink. Just drink that. So, but don't pour it on my laptop, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, you just drink. It's you who has made it. You just drink that. So at the end of the day, you have to prepare yourself. Yeah. Be like, I want capital. What is it that I need? I need this amount of money. Do that. But man, it scares me. The first time I lost my job, my goodness, I've never ever suffered in my life like that time. Remember, I've grown up minus parents. No mom, no dad, no uncle, no all that. But I'm telling you, when I lost, when you're used to something, like you see these MPs, the honorables, the MPs, when you've had something for a long time and, it's been like, what provides you with, basic needs, and then you lose that job. It is the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing. More so if you're used to it for a very long period of time. One. Yeah, you wait. I'll make you till later. Wait. Later, I will make you later. Yeah, I will make you. Let me first finish talking to my friends. I'll make you later. If you're disturbing me, I will not take you to the shop. So at the end of the day, you have to prepare yourself because now sometimes I sit here and I even thank the Lord, even my sister. What if I had not set up where I could live, where I could stay with my son? How would I be if I was really depending on my work? Oh my goodness, I think I would be on the streets. I'm telling you. So you have to strategize. You get to know what is it that I need. You strategize. I told you for the year 2026, this platform is to empower each other. That's why I put up my WhatsApp number here so that we can chat and talk. We support each other. Supporting isn't really about finance support. No, There are things you're like, man, I want to start up something. I want to do, that support system. That's why I was like, 2026, I'm going to be the one sitting in front of the camera. And I'm now not going to bring other people like how I used to do it. Like the interviews we used to do, those funny things, discussing people, you know, talking about trending stories. Tyler, come and reduce sound on your laptop, please, please. So at the end of the day, I was like, no, now 2026. It was in plan. 5 years ago, I was like, in 2026, I'm deleting most of the content that wasn't reduced to zero. Reduce, you muted. So I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So now, imagine I'm starting afresh for the fifth time. Fifth time, I'm starting afresh. Starting afresh is one of the hardest things. Most of the people don't want to start because now, if I could be here and I'm like, oh my goodness, it is only 5 people watching. I've seen people both in Africa, in America, in Asia start, and I've been with them and I've been monitoring them from when they opened up, from when they are starting, and I've been following them, and over the years they've made it. So now me, I'm so stiff, like I can start afresh. If you get me and throw me to Sudan, I will set afresh. Most of the people, that's what they fear. That's why they fear losing their jobs. They're like, if I lose this job, where will I get the rent? If I lose this job, where will I get the money, for food? If I lose this job, where will I get the school fee? So you get stuck, yeah? You get stuck in there. That's why people go an extra mile to start bewitching each other. Yeah, people bewitch each other. People do witchcraft because they don't want to leave that job. But when you are ready to start, I told you, when you are at the job, immediately when you get it, start planning your exit. Immediately you get that job, start planning your exit, that just in case anything happens. Now me, that strategy really worked for me. Like, I get a job because I got to know that I use 9.6 million a year as me for rent, food, internet, everything. 9.6. So each time I could get a job, I start collecting that money. And I keep it safe somewhere, that if I lost the job today, seriously, if I lost the job today, I would live for a year. So that's why even right now, I'm telling you that I am trying whatever I'm doing right now, and I'm giving it a year. Why? Because now I don't have any stream of income, but I can survive for a year. My son can go to school for a year. I can eat food for a year. I can pay for internet for a year. I can do everything for a year. So I have to make sure whatever I'm doing right now, it really works in a year. If it fails, then I'll change maybe strategy, but I'm not the kind of a person who believes in failing. I don't believe in failing, because there is nothing I've done and it has failed. I'm telling you. And that comes to you. It is your mentality. If you're there are some people who try a lot of things, yeah? Someone is selling now kids' clothes. The next time, Tyler, don't knock. Today they are selling kids' clothes. The next day they are into accessories. The next day they are selling computers. The next day they are into farming. They are not focused. Me, I stick in there and I'm like, come what may, I'm focused. We are not going to leave. It is a do or die or do. You get the point? So when you have that kind of a mentality and you're like, this is not going to fail, I swear it will not fail. I'm telling you, there is nothing. And I've seen people doing it. And that's when I came to realization that there is nothing on planet Earth. As long as someone can do it, I swear you can do it. As long as you have your focus on it and you're like, I'm doing it, you can do it. Of course, Chrissy, yeah, I hope I pronounce your name well. Chrissy is saying, big on, Chrissy. Yes, I can get you. Let me tell you, there is nothing. Me, I used to get scared. You guys, you don't know. You don't know the first time when I started staying with my son and he was 1 year old. Oh my goodness. I was scared. As a single dad, it is your first kid. You've never given birth before. It is your first kid. and you are just the two of you. I've never taken care of a young one in my life, and now I have my firstborn, 1 year old, and he is my responsibility. I got so scared. I thought I could not go through it. I got the first house help. I got the second one. I got the third one. One thing I noticed in all of them, I could cook better than them. I could clean the house better than them. I could wash clothes better than them. And I was like, why is this fear like so? I was like, let me try it. Guys, each time I be here, I'm like, I'm running the 4th year now. And I've been with Tyler. I've been with him for 3 years. Now I'm running 4 years. Tyler, don't come. You go put on clothes. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying, these things are possible. If me, I am raising this kid and I'm a dedicated father 24/7, I'm with him. He goes to school. I take him to school. You can watch some of the videos. You will see when we wake up. In some of the video uploads, when we wake up, I iron his school uniform, of course, shower him, do everything. He has come through. Today I've cooked, and we cook every day. And I was like, this thing is possible. So there is nothing. If someone has done business, let me tell you, what you have to do is focus on that one thing. You see me here. We are 12 people watching. You want? No. You wait. We will go later. Okay, put on clothes very well, then you go. So at the end of the day, when you focus and you're like this, yeah, I have many friends of mine. I have friends in Dubai. I have friends in the US. I have friends in Qatar, yeah. I have a couple of friends, yeah. They told me, Anderson, you go back and do interviews. You do Luganda. You go back. Because I'm connected. There is no artist I would call and I would not, do those interviews. I told them, I gave myself a yeah, and we are going to use English. They are like, when you use English, go also get a shot. Yeah, go get a shot also. So they are like, even using English, it will be very hard. Ugandans don't want to listen to English. I was like, if they don't want to listen to English, they should go. If they want, they should unsubscribe, because now their era ended. Now I want to change things. I know they are your viewers, but let me tell you, out of 1 billion people on this earth, there will be someone to support what you want or what you like. You won't tell me that is everyone in the world using Luganda. No, some people are using English. So you can't tell me that, because the whole thing is, I'm not in a rush. So when you put these things to you and you also put into them consideration, let me tell you, it cannot fail. Because you could be like, okay, this is what this is what I decided. And why did I decide not to do now the interviews? Then I was like, let's use English. Because I feel like even other countries are supposed to understand what we are talking about. So if people are unscribing and they are leaving my channel, which is BCM, I'm okay. Because their era reached the year. Just like, you see like how life works. You take note of this. When you were growing, there were people in your life that come and they support you up to somewhere. You're not supposed to go with them till where you're going at the end. No, these people, they will be with you, reach somewhere, leave you, and then you continue. God brings them. I can see Kabiri Rogers, big up, brother. Kabiri Rogers, big up. Kabiri Rogers, UG. Let me tell you, there are people. Have you been there? Like, when we were young, we had our parents. Our parents will be with us for a given time. Then they will reach a time, you will have to leave them. So those, just like I'm telling you, like this channel, I started off as I was doing my TV interviews. Yeah, so whatever I could do on TV, then I could upload on this same channel. Then of course Bobby Wine came, the person I love the most. I was like, okay, let me also help him out. I support him. So let's do this. I did that for 7 years. So now I'm like, that is it. That was the end of the journey. Now we are on something different. So if the people don't want to listen to English, if the people want interviews, if the people, let them go, because they also have where to stop, and then you continue. Even the marriage, one will die and the other one will keep on. So you don't have to keep these people forever. Just like some of our friends, when we were in school, we had some of our best friends. We were with them. We used to eat food together. We used to do everything together. But their journey ends somewhere and you have to go on another one. And again, God will bring new people in your life, again, who are going to keep you going. And again, those ones will end somewhere. It is not like, you're engulfed with them. You're supposed to be together till the end. No. Everyone reaches somewhere, even brothers and sisters. You grow up together in the same family, eat the same food, do but their journey will end somewhere. They will stop there and you will continue with other people. You will find now workmen. Before you know it, you meet your brothers and sisters on different occasions when you meet up at home for the family meetups. But everything, that's how it works. So when you focus, those friends I told you about, they called me and they're like, Anderson, you do those interviews. I'm like, I'm not. Because I want to spend time with my son. I believe this can change and we can do it. So I'm stuck on it. Whether we are 10 people right now, I'm telling you, I'll do these lives every day and every day and every day. And the people who want to unsubscribe, it is okay. Their journey ended there. It ended there. We played a purpose. We had where to stop. So now I will get new people like Chivirige, like Chrissy, like the Daily Scroll. Now you guys are new. The other ones are going. So now this journey is different. So now I'm focused. They told me, but Anderson, at least you would have opened up a new channel. It would be way easier to run it. I'm like, no. This BCM is my baby. It's my baby. Like, I remember the first time, with everything, the first time I got the 10 subscribers. I remember the 20 subscribers. I remember when I made 100K subscribers. I remember now when we are into 200K subscribers. And now you tell me I lose it because of money. No. And what people forget, let me tell you something. If you're doing anything in your life, number one thing, even when I tell creators what to do when they when they want to get money, maybe on social media, do something you love doing. Do something that you're not forced doing. Like working on TV, I love talking. I can talk, by the way, I can talk from now up to tomorrow. My target is, I'm clearing up some stuff. I want to make a live stream that will run for 24 hours non-stop. 24 hours non-stop. That's my dream. That's what I want to do. We be here, we move around, we do whatever. 24 hours non-stop. That's my dream. No breaks, no nothing. That's my dream. That's what I want to do. Me, I'm not even more of a YouTuber. I want to be more of a streamer. Like, we come and talk and talk. That's my dream. And for the people who are here, let me tell you, give me 1 year. So that's how stiffy I am. Because I'm not chasing for money. No. I'm building now what I call a legacy. Because if I want money, I would sit here and I'll start talking, bad mouthing, all the artists, and people will be here watching. I would say, I would discuss people. I know people will be here, but now that's not what I want. So when you focus and you're like, I'm going in hard for this, this is what I want, I tell you it will work. Me, I've seen people. That's why sometimes when I'm talking to my sister, I tell her, but you know what? I really thank God that really time moves and we grow up. The more you grow, the more you learn, the more you see things. I've seen people struggle. There was a girl. Oh my goodness. This girl was so bad. She was so broke. She didn't have anyone in her life. She came at my place. No one was even looking for her. No one was checking. This girl was broke as a church mouse. But very beautiful. But this girl had no next in her life. I saw this girl from zero until now that she owns businesses and she's staying in Munyonyo and she's having all this. I was like, oh my goodness. I've seen like the artists here in Uganda like King Saha. I've seen King Saha when he's starting from zero. I've seen Gravity Omutuju. I've seen Spice Diana start off zero. I've seen. and they have persisted. I've seen, now I've told you the people, basically maybe you could know, but I've seen people doing even streams. I've seen people on internet coming and struggling and until they've made it. So there is nothing in this life, as long as you stick on it and you're like, this is going to work. I swear. There are people who say, like, you try farming. In case it doesn't work, maybe you can try, wholesale shops. Maybe if it doesn't work, you can. No. This is not a trial and error. You tell yourself, this is it. It has to work. It has to work. By all means, I'm not leaving. I'm telling you, the more you do something, you get experience. You can fail today. Yes, it is okay. You can fail today, fail tomorrow, fail the next day, but again, you try. What makes someone stronger is someone who fails and then keeps getting up and moving again. No gua, no situka. You fail, you stand up, you do the same thing. You fail, you stand up, still you do the same thing. You cannot fall 1,000 times. Impossible. You will have learned the reasons why you failed the other time, so now it is going to be different. You're going to do it in a different way. So now, focus, be intentional. Me, with the way how I am focused, boys, I'm telling you, I take it an extra mile that I don't even want to have sexual intercourse. Tyler, I told you to reduce that sound, reduce it to 0. So I told myself, I will not quit. I will not. You do it today, you do it. Man, you cannot tell me, because each time you fall or each time you fail, you change what we call the strategy. The way you were doing, you're like, I failed because of you're getting now experience. Then you change. Then you failed. You're like, what went wrong? Again, now that's what they call experience. Then you will do. By the time you perfect it, let me tell you, people will come and they want to copy what you're doing, and they can't do it because you have a long time of experience which they don't have. You will see someone do something now, but you don't know how many times they tried it. You will see someone shining now, but you don't know what is the behind scenes. The behind scenes, they've fallen, they've gotten scars that you don't know about, but now you're appreciating what you're seeing. That's why I told you most of the people want to relate with success. They don't want to relate with failure. So not until when you make it, then they will say, we knew you would do that, but they don't know how many times you've fallen. So if you fall and you're like, I'm still sticking, if you fall and you're like, I'm doing it again, let me tell you, it will definitely work. I'm 38 years old. That's why I was saying, thank God that we have lived this long to have seen much of these things. So now there is no way you will tell me that something will fail and you stick on it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you're not, oh my goodness, indefinitely it will come. Definitely it will work out. So when my friends told me, Anderson, do the interviews, you see, Anderson, okay, you use look, I was like, no, let me do it for 1 year. And if I do it for 1 year and it is progressing, but at a slow pace, I'll be easy. I'm giving, just like how I always tell you, easy come, easy go. Something that has roots, something that has the strong foundation, there is no way you're going to break it. It's not like someone who has come out of the blue, made it. No, that's not how things work. The easy way you've gone up, it is the easy way you're going to come down. So what do? Give it time. Give it time. You'd find someone who is a good designer, You'd find, like, let me say, someone selling stuff and they're really doing okay. And you wake up early in the morning, you're like, I'm also going to start the same business. If they tell you where all this started, you will get surprised. There are a lot of falls, breakups, there are a lot of things that happen by the time you're seeing the success that you're seeing and you're admiring and you feel like you want to do it in 1 day. Truthfully, think about it. Someone has been doing the same thing for 5 years, 7 years, and they stuck in there. So now you think, because now you've seen them now you basically want what they have. And you think because you have capital, you will just go and do that. Yeah, because you're seeing kindergartens working so nice for everyone. So you wake up early in the morning, you're like, you know what? I've seen that girl, she's having kindergarten and they're working nice for her. And since I'm having capital, let me invest. I even have more money than them. So maybe if I invest more, I will make more. No. They have the background, they have a strong foundation. They've been with kids before, and in that village, they knew that lady. As people are going somewhere, they bring their kid babies, to babies for babysitting. So they have the background. So if you build that strong foundation, that is the core. By the time you're up there, down here it is so strong. Now me, the times I've started afresh 4 times. 4 times and I'm starting afresh. This is the 5th time that I'm starting from zero. And again, I'm starting from zero using even different language. Starting from zero, using different language. I'm not going to get anyone to boost me up. You see the confidence in that. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I am definitely going to do it. So you have to have that kind of mentality to be like, whatever happens, I'm going to do it. Yeah, whatever happens, I'm going to do it. That's the mentality. But Tyler, don't eat a lot of candies. Your teeth will get decayed. Yeah, you'll get tooth decay and then you'll get sick and then your teeth will get out. So you get the point. You have to stick. There is a thing I watched on TikTok, that we are not failures. How will it look, yeah, when we left and then come back and we tell the guys that we failed? Yeah, no way. We left, we came to win, and there is no way I'm going to tell my son Tyler that I tried but I failed. Impossible. We are not going to fail. We are not going to fail. Either by force, either by what, we are not going to fail. If someone else can do it, you can do it. There are 1 billion people. Let me tell you, you can't tell me that out of the 1 billion people, no one can like what you're doing. It's impossible. There will be the 2, there will be the 3, there will be someone. There will always be someone. They're always saying that maybe you are not, that is not your calling. There is no one's calling. As long as you feel comfortable doing something, do it. Do it. Stick on it. Stick on it. Fail. Fall. Stand up. Move. Fall. Stand up. Move. Fall. Stand up. Move. Fall. Stand up. Move. The more you do it, you're building a foundation which is very strong. You know what went wrong. You know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're not supposed to do. You know the cons and the pros. You're like, that don't do, this do, that don't. That's why when they want people, when they're hiring people, they are basically looking for people with experience. Now me, when it comes to social media, I know what to do and not what to do. I know that is right, that is wrong. Here you don't pass, here you do, here if you're starting. Because I've done all these mistakes. So I know where I went wrong. So if someone is starting, I'll tell them, don't ever pass that side. You have to pass here. So I've helped you. What I learned in 5 years, I'm teaching someone in 2 hours. Now the mistakes that really costed me, I'm not going to tell them to do those same things. I'll tell them never do that. So it is very crucial, very important. There is no reason. Now I have my son. He's only now 4. Now he grows up and I tell him, you know what, son, I tried my level best, but I failed. How? I had all these years to try to prove to myself, and I come back and I said I failed. I don't fear. Just don't mind people. Whatever someone says, yeah, it doesn't matter whether they are saying this or this. In the next minute, they will have forgotten you. Do what you're doing. We come in this life alone. Even when they are giving birth to twins, it's one who comes first, then the other one. We come alone. We live alone. The mistakes that we do, the judgment that come from people, so be it. As long as they don't feed you, it is my life. It is me. So anyone's judgment, it is upon them. They can say whatever they want. But man, me, I'm doing me. And I don't need anyone's validation. You're getting my point? If you feel, by the way, you've loved this video, you can go and next Chamal. You can like the video. Yeah, you can go ahead and put up your comment. You can go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button that each time I come through, you're among the first people to be watching. Luze Andrew Anderson is my name, and I am telling you the reason why I opened up this podcast, the reason why I decided 2026 I'm going to be in front of the camera, not discussing people or training stories or, stuff, or discussing people and talking to them, because I wanted to create a community of people whom we can support each other. That's why I put my WhatsApp number here, that someone, even if they WhatsApp me, we can talk. I'm building something. It might not work out now, it might not work tomorrow, but it will definitely work. You get the point? It will definitely work. And we are not quitters. Quitters are the... You cannot be a quitter. And then you come back and you're like, I've failed. And you admit. You don't have to fail. Things have to work as long as you're persistent. You're persistent. You're how do they call it? You're persistent. Be persistent. Keep doing it. Make it a routine. Do it every day. Webigana today, repeat it again. If it fails, repeat it again. That is what we call a foundation. And if you have a strong foundation, let me tell you, someone who is into poetry, yeah, you could find someone in poetry, but because they've done it very many years, there's a day they lost all their birds, and then they did it again. Then there is a day they missed out with something, again they lost. But because they kept doing, by the time you are seeing them successful and having big farms of poultry, and then you're like, I also want that. I also want that. Then because you're having capital, then you're going to do it. No. You have to first work on the foundation. When the foundation is strong, the rest of the things will be easy. You get my point. You get my point. You get my point. Yeah. For those who want to stay, will stay. For those who want to go, let them go. Because not everyone is supposed to go on top with you. Some people are supposed to get off. Yeah? Some people have to get off. People have to get off. Don't think that you grew up with your friend, again you go work together. No. Everyone has their stop. When you're going up, some people they help you reach somewhere, and then they have to go off. They help you reach and then they have to go. There are people I was with in my life, and I thought that if this someone leaves me, I'm dead. If this person leaves me, I'm gone. But guess what happened? They left. God brought other people to help me go through that. Then when those helped me reach somewhere, they had to also leave, and God gives you the other people to keep you going until you reach your goal or your destiny. So some people just have to leave. So me, that's why I'm okay. I wake up early in the morning and BCM has lost over 60 people. And I'm like, cool. They had their part. They played. They were getting off from there. Yeah. They had to go off. Even me, I went and I unfollowed some of the people, because now I'm like, that journey ended there. I'm beginning a new one. As I told you, beginning afresh is one of the hardest things to do. Starting afresh from zero, most of the people fear that. It is very scary. It is like when you're going in marriage, you just don't know what is going to be happening there. When you get that divorce and you're separating from this man or woman, you don't know what you're going to expect there. But guess what? Life keeps on. When you're leaving your father's family, that first time you're going in boarding section, that first time you're renting, that first time, it is always scary. But now, guess what? We are used to being alone. Who thought? Because we thought living alone would be very hard. How will it be to pay my own rent, to buy my own food? You feel like it is so hard because you're doing it for the first time. It is always very scary. Now those people who are not scared starting afresh, those are the people who make it. They are not scared. They are like, I'm working, Tyler. Yeah, I've seen. You will get it. You'll get it. Yeah, you'll get it. Reduce even the sound. So those people who persist and they are not afraid of starting afresh. Let me tell you, if you have someone who is not scared of starting afresh, those people will always make it. They will definitely make it. Do you know why they will make it? Because they don't fear starting afresh. It is only the people who fear starting afresh who get stuck. They get stuck. Do you know, like someone telling you, okay, you're going to be going to Mexico, but you're going alone. It scares a lot. But the ones who are strong enough to be like, let me go, we will see what will happen. My goodness, that person will always, it is definite that they will make it in life. You know, like someone comes and is like, you know what, I'm going to end this relationship. And the guy is like, you want to end it? End it. Yes, boss. Now they are starting afraid. Some women don't want to leave some abusive relationships because they feel they cannot survive minus that person. Who told you? You were there before them. Who knew that you could survive minus your parents? But the time came and you had to leave. So why stay in that, toxic relationship? You can always move out and you can start afresh, and maybe better could even come through. So that mentality of what will happen, I cannot survive without them. Who said? Me, I've learned that. I lost my mom, I lost my dad, I've lost almost most of the people I loved in life. So there is no human being who will come and tell me that minus me you will not survive. Boss, I lost all the people I need in life. So who there are you talking about? Nothing, no one. I'm telling you, no one. I can always start afresh. I can always leave. Those are the people who have lost it all. So now, who they in Jesus' name? If I don't think and make it your mentality, don't let someone put it in you that, minus them, you cannot survive. Who said? Who said you can survive? We survived. We grew up with our parents. You wait. We survived, when we were growing up, we've been with kids, yeah? We've been with kids, and these kids, wait, I'm still working. You cannot tell me that, we were young at a given point, and then we were with our parents, and we thought we cannot survive minus our parents. Then we left, we went into marriage or something, or work. Now we are surviving minus our parents. So now that relationship, that someone is there and they are bragging, they think you cannot survive minus them. Show them you can move on. You can move on. People have grown minus parents. People like me minus zero, no tukula. So no one should scare you that minus me you cannot survive. Nada. And if you don't fear starting afresh, then I'm telling you, you will make it. You will make it. Just be on that one thing. Stick on it, do it today, fail today, repeat it tomorrow, fail again, repeat it today, fail. Just like that. You're building what we call a foundation, and that is a strong foundation with concrete, with hardcore stones. So by the time you're up there, you know the do's and don'ts. You're like, never do that. That one you do like this. So someone, because they have capital, they want to come and compete with you. But because they don't have a strong foundation, they cannot do it like you. Even when they have it all, because you went through a lot in between there to make it. So now you know the do's, don'ts, the pros and pros, like you know what to do. No one should tell you it is impossible. That, the impossibilities start with you. If you're like, that is so hard and that cannot work, that is what they call the negative energy. You have a friend whom you tell we can do this, and for them they feel everything is impossible. Who said? Buying a car, that is very, very hard. That is very, very, very hard. It is impossible. Who said so?